On this episode, we're going to be taking a look at yet another celebrity tequila brand. It's called Mala Vida, right here on the Tequila Hombre. Coming up next. Hello, welcome to this episode of the Tequila Hombre, where today we're going to be taking a look at and doing a tasting review of yet another celebrity brand. This one you may not have heard of. It's one of the newer brands to come out. So I know some people have seen it someplace, but it is called Mala Vida. And you're probably wondering, okay, Hombre, what celebrity owns this brand? Well, this gentleman is the drummer and songwriter for a huge Mexican Latin rock band called Maná. Now, Maná is massively huge. I've done a lot of Mexican and Hispanic weddings and stuff and events, and I always get people asking for Maná songs. So, of course, I always kept them on my music library. They're big, and they're great, and people love them. So they perform for thousands and thousands of people. They're huge. So Alex had decided he wanted to venture into the world of tequila, and as a Mexican and somebody that respects tequila and what it's all about, he wanted to make sure to do it right. So let's not waste any more time, though. Let's get into how this tequila is made. All right, so when Alex wanted to make this, he wanted to respect the tequila, and so he picked a really good distillery to work with. This comes out of NOM 1588, which is Distillería El Mexicano, and it is run by the Benuelos family, a very well-respected family in the world of tequila. If you're not familiar with them, they were the family that created Cazadores tequila originally. And when they made it, it was a great tequila, and then they sold it, and then we all know what happens from it after that. So when I was talking to Leon when I was at the distillery. When Alex contacted him, Leon said that Alex wanted a tequila that had a little bit of personality to it, a little bit of a bite, an edge to it, since that kind of reflects who he is. And so they worked with him on creating this particular profile that had exactly what Alex was looking for. So how they make this tequila, they basically use Los Altos agave there from the Highlands, which tends to be sweeter and fruitier flavor profile to it. They then cooked it in an autoclave under low pressure. After it is then cooked, they then use a roller mill to extract the sugars from it. And then it is fermented in stainless steel tanks. And then after it is done fermenting, they then twice distill in stainless steel pot stills with copper coils. And they bottle it at 40% alcohol by volume or 80 proof. So that is the Blanco. All right, so let's not waste any more time, though. Let's get into the tasting portion and see what this tequila is all about. All right, diving into the Blanco, the packaging on this is actually really cool. It comes in with this wooden crate, and on one side it has a message, a welcome message and stuff, and then in English, and then the other side it's in Spanish, which is really cool. And it's got this little slide out where you take the bottle out, and then so you can actually use this as something else. So I don't know what you put in it, but you could probably use it decor or something too. So it's actually pretty cool. So looking at the bottle has got a really nice looking label on it. And then it's got this really cool topper, which is a Calderverna, a Day of the Dead skull, which looks really cool. So it's a pretty nice looking packaging on it. It's Blanco, 100% agave. Great. All right, so we'll pop the top on this. It is a artificial cork, of course, which is great. Means you don't have to worry about it, cork drying out, evaporation. And then we will pour a little bit and do our review here. All right. So taking a look at this in the glass. Again, this is the Blanco, so it doesn't see the inside of a barrel. It's just still and then goes right into the bottle. So looking at it in the glass, it coats the glass beautifully. You start seeing the tears or legs coming down the glass there. So it's kind of a nice viscous mouthfeel to it, which is nice. It means it's going to coat the tongue nicely. And we should get a pretty decent finish on it. So looking at that and then looking at the tequila itself, it is crystal clear. It looks beautiful, just like any good Blanco should. Look at those legs and tears coming down. So that's going to be really nice. All right, so let's see what we get on the nose. Definitely getting that rich, sweet cinnamon and baking spices coming through on it. Definitely picking up some caramelized sugar notes on it. A hint of citrus, like more along the lines of a sweeter citrus, so like an orange citrus. A little hint of minerality in there, but it just screams cooked agave, which is that sweet cinnamon and baking spices notes right up into your nose there. It smells beautiful. All right, so let's see what we get on the flavor profile. You never judge on the first sip. We're going to wait for the second one. Get your mouth acclimated to 40% alcohol entering your gums and stuff. It takes care of making sure that that first initial alcohol burn subsides. Because a lot of times when you take your first sip and you get that burn in your mouth, it's just from your mouth acclimating to alcohol, 40% alcohol being put in it. So once you get it kind of switched around a little bit, let it subside, then it won't bother you anymore. All right. I get a really nice, beautiful cinnamon and baking spice cooked agave note up front. A little hint of chocolate that comes through on it, which is nice. I always love when a Blanco has that little kind of chocolate note to it. I'm definitely picking up some citrus in there. A nice briny salinity on the finish. You can tell mostly that when you get that briny salinity on the finish, it's a good sign too that they're using some really good quality mineral water for the making of the tequila, which really helps enhance those flavor notes too from the cooked agave. Very easy to drink, or as you would say, smooth. I don't like using the word, and a lot of people use it. It's very easy to drink. It's very, very, very sippable. Beautiful baking spices, cooked agave notes, a hint of chocolate that comes through on it. A nice citrus fruitiness in there too. And then it finishes with kind of like a dark chocolate. You ever had those dark chocolate oranges where you smack them and you peel them apart and it's got kind of an orange flavored chocolate in them? It almost has like a flavor like one of those on the finish, where you get a kind of a mixture of citrus, orange, and then a little bit of salinity, of a brininess to it, saltiness. So it's actually really nice. Very sippable, very enjoyable. This is a good Blanco. I definitely would keep this on my shelf and enjoy it. I don't remember what the retail price. I think it was like around $40. I bought it. We don't have it on ferment still yet. I will look into getting it now that I know that it's good. But it's definitely enjoyable. I'll give this one 4 agave, guys. 4 agave. Very enjoyable. I recommend it. If you're looking for a good Blanco and you see it on the shelf, don't be afraid to grab it. Even though it's a celebrity brand, it's probably one of the best celebrity brands that I have tried to date. So salute to Alex Gonzalez for doing the Blanco right. Let's check out the Repo and the Añejo now. All right, so now we're heading to take a look at the Reposado. Now, just as a side note, there was a little bit of peppery warmth that came in from my throat on that Blanco when I was sitting there getting ready for the Reposado, and which I enjoy. It's nothing really harsh, but it's kind of a nice warming sensation that comes from within your chest. It's almost like an agave tequila hug. I kind of like it. Something definitely that would, if you were sipping this in the wintertime, it definitely would keep you on the warm side. So that was kind of nice. So the Repo is Blanco basically, but it's aged for 4 months in both American oak and French oak barrels. So what they do is they age for 4 months in French and American oak barrels, and then they blend them together to create this flavor profile. Now, keep in mind too that El Mexicano uses brand new barrels. They don't use ex-bourbon barrels, so these are brand new barrels that have only been used for tequila. So 4 months can add a lot of flavor and stuff in a brand new barrel versus something that's been used for 20 something years for bourbon or whatever, you know. So those it adds a lot more flavor and stuff a lot quicker when it's new. It's got all the beautiful oils and flavors and stuff still in the wood. It hasn't all been sucked out by the bourbon that was in it previously. All right, so looking at this in the glass, it coats the glass beautifully. You can see the legs and tiers just starting to form. And it just looks beautiful. Look at that. Looks sexy, doesn't it? It just looks absolutely sexy. And then looking at the tequila itself, it is a kind of a medium straw color. Looks crystal clear. Looks beautiful. All right, so let's see what we get on the nose on this. All right, the agave is still present. It's still picking up that sweet cinnamon and baking spices. But then you pick up this beautiful cherry note that comes through on it, which is, I really love it when I pick up the cherry on an aged. And then I'm definitely picking up some hints of vanilla and butterscotch and a light caramel note in there as well. But that cherry and fruit note, it's actually kind of like a cherry and almost like a plum, cherry and plum note that comes through on the fruity side of it. It smells really nice. It really does. All right, so let's not waste any more time. Let's see what we get on the flavor profile of this. Coats the mouth beautifully. Beautiful cinnamon and baking spices right up front, followed by a hint of cherry. And then I'm picking up some light vanilla, light caramel, light butterscotch. And then on the finish, it's kind of like a light salted caramel finish. I'm picking up a nice brininess with this caramel note. So it gives it kind of a light salted caramel finish on it. It's a very enjoyable reposado. There's still a little heat that comes from your chest, but it's not like a scorching thing that makes it unbearable to drink. It just says, hi, I love you. I'm going to hang out with you for a little while, which is perfectly fine with me. So this is a really good reposado. I would give this one 4 agave as well. I recommend it. If you're a reposado person, feel free to pick it up. You'll like it. There's a little bit of an oak bitterness that comes in towards the end of it, but this is really good. If you're a repo fan, I think you're going to enjoy this. Just know that it's not on the light side. There's a little more wood in this than some of the lighter reposados. So if you like a reposado with a little heavier wood influence, barrel influence to it, this is a great option for you. All right, so let's not waste any more time. Let's see what the añejo is all about. All right, that reposado was really good. If you guys are a reposado fan, you got to try the reposado. So here we're going to take a look at the añejo now. The añejo is 12 months aged in both American and French oak barrels and blended together to create the flavor profile. These are also new barrels. So it's not previous bourbon or whiskey barrels. These are brand new French and American oak barrels. So you definitely get a lot more flavor and stuff from the barrels when you're using new wood versus using used bourbon barrels. So this is 12 months. This is 1 year. So looking at it in the glass, again, it coats the glass beautifully. Look at that. Legs and tears haven't even started breaking yet. There they go. Definitely gonna have a nice viscous, oily mouthfeel to it. Looking at the tequila. It presents itself as more of an amber hue to it than the Repo, but it looks crystal clear and looks marvelous, looks fantastic. All right, so let's see what we get on the nose on this. All right, so you definitely are picking up some agave still up front, the cinnamon and baking spices. But then oak is a little more present in this one right after that. And then it's got a hint of cherry, vanilla, butterscotch is a lot richer on this one. And almost like an apricot fruit note to it as well. It smells really good. All right, so let's see what we get on the flavor profile. Really rich, creamy, viscous mouthfeel to it. Just coats the mouth beautifully. Nice rich cinnamon and baking spices right up front. Then you get this beautiful fruitiness that comes through, almost like an apricot and pear fruitiness with a hint of cherry in there. And then you get this beautiful vanilla note that comes through. Butterscotch. And then you get this nice, like, dark chocolate caramel with a saltiness to it. This is really nice añejo. I could really enjoy this with a good stogie. So if you're somebody that enjoys stogies, this would be a really good añejo to enjoy with a stogie. It's a really good. This would be a really good after dinner añejo, sipping on the back porch while it's cold out, enjoying the evening or type of thing. Really enjoyable. I like this. I like this one a lot. So I'll give this one also 4 agave. I recommend the entire line. It's the best celebrity tequila that I have tried to date. Congratulations, Alex. You did a great job. And Alex, if you would love to come on, I'd love to have you come on for a live stream for a Q&A where we can talk a little bit about your tequila mission and your journey, and then talk a little bit about, so there you go. 4 agave across the board for the Blanco, Repo, and Añejo. And, well, if you like the information I shared, you love this review, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, welcome. We're glad to have you. Go ahead and click that subscribe button in the bottom and click that notification bell next to it so you get notified anytime we post a review or we go live with one of our live streams, because we'd love to see you more often. And like I always say, life is too short to drink bad tequila, so hey, feel free to pick up some Malavita. It's the best celebrity tequila brand I've tried to date, and you'll be in great shape. Salud. Bye, guys.